What's going on, guys? Ben here, Enos Tech, and today we're taking a look at Thermaltake's new Commander C36 PC. Now, the C36 is one among about 6 in the line of the new Commander C series. The major difference between them is the front panels. The rest of the internals are the same. They all come sporting tempered glass side panels and two 5-volt ARGB 200mm fans. Now these fans are going to offer more than sufficient cooling for your internal components, and again, they're ARGB, so the RGBs are easy to control and offer some great features. Taking a look around the case as a whole, and as mentioned, there are two built-in 200mm 5-volt ARGB front fans. There's a built-in ARGB switchboard that offers you easy access and control of the lighting modes of the fans, and you can also plug in things such as AIOs and stuff to this from Thermaltake as well to help them control all the settings at once. There's a 4mm tempered glass side panels. Obviously, there's excellent cooling capacity with this. There's two-way radiator mounting up to a 360mm rad. It's got a gamer design, a built-in power cover, and it's also got a riser GPU support bracket. So what this means is when you vertically mount your GPU, you can also support the riser cable going to it, so that's not just bending around and pulling on the GPU. This is going to help with things like GPU sag and hopefully give your GPU a longer lifespan. So having a look inside the case, and as you can see, it is very spacious. Now, in my opinion, this would be a great system to have a bit of a liquid cooling setup going in here. Obviously, you've got plenty enough room for rads on the front there. Even though there are two 200mm fans, you can sort some stuff out. There's more room for rad up on the front here. You could also go ahead and hook your reservoir or something. You could mount it right in here. As you can see, there's just so much room and so many options are available. There's a nice big cutout down here, so you've got easy access to the bottom there, and it also gives you more room for the rad or reservoir support. We've got the GPU vertical mounting riser cable bracket. Now, as mentioned, this is pretty much going to, you mount the riser cable to it, and then it sticks up like the PCI slot on the motherboard. Then you can plug your GPU right into it, and you don't have to worry about the cable fiddling around, moving about or nothing. You can just mount it right here. And like I said, this should help with the longevity of your GPU. It's not going to cause so much GPU sag. And at the end of the day, the way GPUs are going now, with all the designs on the fans and the RGB lighting and all that type of stuff, it's also a very good way to help show them off. As for building in the Commander C36, it was a breeze. I have to be honest, it was nice and easy. Mounting the 240mm Thermaltake AIO in the top there, there's more than enough room in mounting directions for it. You have to see it to believe it. There's just so many different options and so many different places you can put it to really makes it easier. I've kind of chosen to put mine up to the front here a bit because it allowed easy air access to the top of my motherboard for things like the 8-pin EPS cable. My fan connectors are up at the top there, so I plugged a couple fans into that as well, and it was just really a breeze. Again, just speaking of the amount of room, as you can see, obviously we've got the GeForce GTX 2060 from Zotac in here. Now, while that's not the biggest card out there, it's actually quite small, to be honest, for cards these days. But there's so much room in here. We've got down here is the little cutout on top of the PSU shroud, so you can route things to your front panel, your USB 3, and all the other host of RGB connectors and USB headers you've got going across the bottom there. There's a nice cutout here, so you can see what power supply you've got in there. I know Thermaltake have some new ones coming out. I believe there was it TF1 or PF1 that have RGB LEDs on the side here. The logos actually light up, so those are going to look amazing. Hopefully we'll get one of those and we'll throw this in here. From now on, this is going to be our new Ryzen test system. We've got the 2700X in there. At the moment, we've got some Team Group Vulcan 3000 megahertz RAM in there. Yeah, like you see the Zotac GeForce GTX 2060. So it's going to be our little Ryzen test bench that we'll be using probably and hopefully for the rest of the year. We've got some more things to test up on there, but you guys will see those soon enough. Overall, I'm very happy with the C36. I'm going to go ahead and give it our must-have award because it looks amazing. It's nice and spacious without being overly big for no reason. As you can see, there is a lot of room here, but again, coupled with the 200 mil fans in the front, that's going to allow for a lot of airflow to come through here to keep all your internal components cool while you're gaming. So that's a big plus for me. And obviously I know people are getting into these things where we like to put things in our cases now, action figures, anime figures, stuff like that. So boom, you could build a little platform and have a whole little show going on there. That's up to you if that's your thing. But yeah, again, with the must-have award, because I'm really happy with this. Plenty of room, it's easy to build, and it's got the great features, easy to control RGB, which also allowed me to hook the AIO up to the RGB board on this, so I can control all the RGB right from the button. Now, I know it's hard to see here, but this controls the fans in the front, it controls the pump top and the two fans up here. So while you can't quite see it all greatly in this video, it makes life so much easier to have everything synced up. There's no need for the software, even though you can go that route if you decide to, and then you can link up with things like your motherboard and your graphics card with Asus Aura and all of that type, Gigabyte Fusion, all of that. So that's quite good and handy. And yeah, it's really just an amazing case for the price. If you want to get a bit more detailed and in-depth look of it before I put the build in it, make sure to check out the written review. The link will be down below in the comments. I've got more pictures of before the build was in there and stuff like that. This is just kind of final build video to show it off. And yeah, again, just one last time, it's a great case. Many thanks to Thermaltake UK for hooking us up and sending this in for the review. And as always, thank you guys, and stay tuned in the future for more content.